at a game. I hate that I don't have my mic. I'm used to having my mic. I'm just gonna wait for people to come in. This is more like a rant sesh. I'm not gonna do it forever. I got a long drive back. But yeah, I won't be able to see all the chat because obviously, you know, I'm in the car. But I'm gonna say this, okay? I just went to the game. I got a long drive back, but let me know. Well, first and foremost, can you guys hear me okay? I know the road is like very irritating. And hold on, let me probably hear like a lot of noise over there. That was something. And I have to rant about it. If you guys can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, we can? Okay. I am so irritated with this game. So I was at the game, and when you go to a game, as you guys know, and I was really low this time, guys. Like, I was pretty close to the court. You can see everything. So I made sure I was near the Spurs bench, and, you know, I just soaked in anything I could as far as what I was looking at. And I'm going to tell you this wholeheartedly, okay? I'm going to say this wholeheartedly because a lot of people are going to jump into this live stream. And, I mean, I know that this is, like, kind of ghetto the way we're doing it, right? Like, I have to literally do it in the car right now. But people are going to jump in here and immediately see the title and say, he shouldn't play. He went 0 for 3 from 3. I'm telling you this right now. Jeremy Sochan should be getting minutes from mentality alone. I do not understand for the life of me why Olynyk was even in the game as long as he was. I noticed things that bother the living crap out of me. And I did not notice this when I'm watching on television. But it was stuff in this game that bothered the crap out of me with Olynyk. Now, first and foremost, everyone's argument is going to be he can't shoot, which I agree with you. He needs to shoot better. But also, he started off the season shooting pretty well, and then it seems like his confidence is just shot, right? Form was looking better as the game went on. Not the best thing in the world, but I'm sorry. I did not know that the Spurs were a prestige three-point shooting team. I didn't realize that we were the 2017 Golden State Warriors. I didn't know that we were the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs do not shoot exceptionally well. We have a few guys that can shoot who are also quite inconsistent. You have Julian Champagnie who can shoot, who's inconsistent. You have Devin Vassell who can shoot, who's inconsistent. You have De'Aaron Fox who can shoot, who's inconsistent. Wemby is a good three-point shooter, I would say, but like he can be pretty inconsistent, you know. But he's not a three-point shooter. Lindy Waters he's a good three-point shooter, but he doesn't really play. And Olynyk, he doesn't supply anything. Watching this game, what really bothered me with Olynyk was we didn't have that nastiness, man. Like I was watching everything that. Oh crap! I need to, because this is my window's fogging up. Hold on. I hate when this happens. I don't know why it's fogging up the way it's fogging up. There we go. Oh, it's foggy out here. Yeah. Hold on, let me turn this light out for a minute. So, one thing that I did not like watching Kelly Olynyk was there was a play in which it was Steph Castle that went down, and Olynyk was near him, didn't help him up, and De'Aaron Fox literally yelled out, "Help your teammate up." And they allowed the other team to help him up. I know that's something small, but that's something where it's like, bro, show a little bit more nasty, right? The San Antonio Spurs were getting trampled. Steph Castle looked awful. Now, Steph Castle can play. I'm not an advocate for Steph Castle not playing. But if you're going to use that same energy with other players, you should use it on everybody, right? Steph Castle was awful tonight. But I don't think that was the primary reason why we lost. I think the primary reason why the Spurs lost, a big chunk of it was Wemby should have played more. I don't know why they couldn't do one more minute, but one reason that we lost is it wasn't enough nasty, y'all. Like, this team was not playing. Like, they allowed the Memphis Grizzlies to just kind of trample them. Like, when it came to get into the paint, they were very physical with us. They weren't dirty. There was nothing that the Grizzlies were doing that were dirty, but they were on top of their game, and they weren't even playing like great, but they were on top of their game as far as keeping that physicality, keeping that motor up, right? And the San Antonio Spurs, some of our guys just couldn't do it this game. And Olynyk is one where I don't know what value you got out of Olynyk. The value that you get out of Olynyk, where maybe they'll halfway play closer to him, is not enough, because this defense was horrible. Now, this is the difference I'm about to throw out there. Olynyk kept his head down. You know, he's just kind of doing his thing. Didn't help his teammate up. Just wobbling on the court. Like he wasn't giving you anything, y'all. Like, I was paying attention. He gave you nothing. As soon as Jeremy Sochan came in, there was a certain attitude that changed. There was an attitude shift. There was a play, and you guys might remember it. I don't know. It seemed minor, probably on television. It probably looked minor, but it was the play in which they called it out on the Grizzlies, and it was very obviously all out on Sochan. By the way, Grizzlies fans were very angry at that. But the refs called it wrong. Sochan immediately looked at the Grizzlies bench and told them to review it. Now, they were going to review it, but he was kind of baiting them. It was just like a little bit of nasty. He was being an agitator. And that's the type of nastiness that you want. Immediately. He's not dirty, but he does certain stuff like that where it's a little swagger that the team has. The team looked like they had a little bit more swagger. Everybody. And I'm sorry, his defense was absolutely phenomenal. When it was him, Castle, and Wemby out there, that looked really great. Unfortunately, Castle wasn't giving you anything offensively, because that's what it's going to have to take. Like, he got to do better. But overall, it was phenomenal. Like, their defense together was great. Sorry, I'm kind of yapping. It's kind of hard to drive and yap, but I'm trying my best. But anyways, it was very irritating. So I think that the nastiness approach, not having enough nasty, was one reason that the Spurs lost. Another reason why the Spurs lost, very obvious. You had wide open threes. Sorry, that everyone was missing. So I don't want to just blame Sochan for his missed threes. I don't want to blame. I don't even know how many Keldon missed. I don't think Keldon missed that many, right? But it was some wide open ones. I think Barnes, I don't even know. Barnes might have went. I don't know. Barnes hit a three. He didn't hit a three today, right? Chat. I don't think he did. But overall, it was just so many missed shots, which they gave us it. Like, we had wide open threes that we should have hit. And unfortunately, right now, Castle and Dylan Harper, I will call both of them out. They look like a one-trick pony out there, which is unfortunate because I know that they have a mid-range game. Dylan Harper hit a mid-range in this game, but Steph Castle, I don't know why he's not going to that mid-range game more. I mean, he was just barreling in the paint, trying to get a foul, and I didn't really understand why his leash was so long, but like I said, his defense was pretty good. And when he was out there with Wemby and Sochan, it was nasty. All I'm saying is this. I know that I'm considered like the Sochan lover or whatever, or, you know, the Sochan stan, but I'm telling you guys, there is no reason. When the team is not shooting well, which it's not like every game that we shoot like exceptionally well. We just don't. I saw him out there and he was locked in. He was communicating exceptionally well. There was kind of an attitude shift with our team. The defense was phenomenal on his part. He didn't allow Jaren Jackson to get the ball at all. His box outs were perfect. His switches were perfect. I mean, his defense was contagious. And I do not quite understand how you can't use a guy like that. And especially opposed to Olynyk, who I don't think we're getting much out of. Just to be honest. And I think why I'm so, because I wasn't this irritated before, but I think the reason why I'm so irritated is actually being at the game and seeing the mannerisms. There's just something, you need that nasty. Every team needs it. There's been so many games where the Spurs have got beat up on. So many games where, even this game, Wemby was on the ground like 50 times in that first quarter. I think it was first or second quarter. He was on the ground continuously. They were just throwing him around everywhere. And for some reason, we do not want to put out an agitator. But there was a shift. The amount of physicality that Sochan brought on Jaren Jackson Jr. was great. I mean, he did not allow him to get the ball. The box outs were great. It was more physicality. The Spurs were nastier. Now, you can say if there's a bias, which, oh, by the way, the lights out here are so pretty. Oh, my God. What the heck? Oh, my God, the lights are pretty. What is this over here? Are those restaurants over there? I've never been over here. No, it's a nail place. Why are there not restaurants over there? It's a liquor store? That's way too pretty to... Okay. I mean, the lights are gorgeous. I don't understand why that's not there's not restaurants over there. I don't really understand that. Anyways. Oh, there's no exit over here. I'm stupid. I gotta turn around. Anyways, yeah, the amount of physicality went up a notch when he got in the game. All right, so that's my little rant about Sochan. I know it was probably a little, crap. I know it was probably like a little incoherent, especially since I haven't really, oh gosh. I don't understand why there's not restaurants over here. I guess they don't think people would stop. It's just too pretty to not have, there's a Starbucks, but not restaurants, okay. Anyways, yeah, so enough about Sochan. I think he should play more. This isn't me saying he should play like 20 or 25, 30 minutes a game. I'm not saying that, but you need that little bit of nasty, and there's been too many games, even right now, that I can think of where the Spurs have, our star, Wemby, has been thrown to the ground, where they've got a little rough with us, and we have no answer for it. And I don't like it. Screw the ethical basketball, okay? Be ethical to an extent. You need somebody like Sochan. You need somebody to be the bad guy. You need somebody to be a little bit nasty. You need somebody to do some of the dirty work. But that's all I'll say about Sochan, for this game, at least. He should play more, period. Now, another thing I noticed, which I'm sure everybody already noticed how stupid this was. Can someone explain to me? Okay, this is the funny part, okay? I saw some of the responses after the fact. I saw some of the people sending me messages after the game, right? But when it was 14 seconds left and the Spurs elected to not call a timeout, and De'Aaron Fox just goes down the court, tries to shoot on two people, gets blocked, I literally asked the person in front of me, because they were also a Spurs fan, I said, how many timeouts did we have? Because I wasn't paying attention, right? Like I'm in the game, right? I'm here, I'm present. I wasn't paying attention. So I asked, I was like, how many timeouts did we have? When they said 2, bro, I almost crashed out. I couldn't believe that we have Wembanyama on the bench. I know you're trying to get him, 20 minutes? That's probably was his limit. But why would you not figure out a way to make sure you end the game with him? He can't play 14 more seconds? He can't play 1 more minute? Why did we have 2 timeouts and we didn't use one of them? I don't quite understand that. The management in this game was atrocious. It reminded me of when we played when the Golden State Warriors, and we just leaned on De'Aaron Fox. Said, "Hey, De'Aaron Fox, can you save us without us running up a play?" Terrible, bro. I don't understand that. Mitch was too busy standing with his arms folded. That's hilarious. By the way, I will say this. One of those referees was absolutely horrible. It was the lady with the long hair. She was horrible. The calls that she would call was horrible. She called one on Sochan and said it was a moving screen. Mitch Johnson was so loud, bro. I know I was pretty close to the court, but he was loud. Like, I thought he was about to get a tech. He was so mad. But I knew we were in for some BS, y'all. I knew we were in for some BS as far as Wemby's minutes. When I saw Wemby go over to one of his coaches, he leaned over. Okay, obviously, I can't hear what he's saying, right? But I can tell from body language. And he was like, it looked like he was begging the coach. Like, he was like shaking his, not hard or anything, but like shaking his coach's shoulders, like, come on, da 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 da. And the coach said something back to him, and he just put his head down, like, ugh, and went and sat back down. And I was like, okay, he knew he wasn't going to get the amount of minutes that he wanted that game. And I want to say this too. I mean, we already knew this, like, it's already out there, but you guys can tell. But the team chemistry is really good, y'all. Like, they were so supportive of each other. I saw Sochan constantly like cheering on Castle, and vice versa. I mean, there was one there was one moment where, and this happens in the NBA all the time, but it's just cool to see. Like, Sochan was sitting in a spot, and Wemby came over, and he was getting ready to move, and Wemby was like, no, stay right there. It's okay, stay right there. And he literally got up and moved to the other seat, and even put a cushion on Wemby's seat. And I was like, this is just good to see. Like, the whole team is great. Harrison Barnes and Keldon was chalking it up. I think Julian, I might be crazy. I mean, it's just one game, but Julian Champagny and Sochan look to be like really good friends. I don't know. They talk a lot. They talk the most, I thought. But yeah, but overall, team chemistry is really good. But very questionable things down the stretch. Very questionable. So overall, this was my take. There weren't that many plays being called. The Spurs just kept certain players, Dylan Harper and Castle, but especially Castle, just kept driving into the paint with no rhyme or reason or any plan once he gets there. All they had to do was just close in on him. He looked like a one-trick pony, and it was either a turnover or just a bad shot. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. And he's going to get himself hurt playing like that too, by the way. Like fishing for fouls the way, because he plays so physical, but your game just can't be that. And I know Castle has more to his game than that. So it was kind of frustrating to see. Hey, what was, I didn't see any of the stats after the game. What was, how did Castle score? Like, what was his stats? If I could guess, I'm going to say he had 10 points. He had a 3. It seemed like he went to the line a few times. He had 10 maybe? Yeah, like just go for a midi or a floater. No, it's like he got to go for the layup. He has to go for the dunk every single time. Castle looks like he's always trying to draw fouls. That's what it looked like. Like the entire game, that's what he was doing. I'm like, you're going to get yourself hurt doing that. 5 for 14, 15 points. See, that's the problem, man. People will take... Let me turn this off. That's the problem. People will take that, right? They'll take that 15 points and they'll say, oh man, he at least had 15. He at least put up points. That was not good. That was not an efficient 15. I watched the game. Every time he had the ball in his hands, I was gasping. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was gasping. And he's better than that. But as quick as people are to say, don't play this player because they can't shoot, that's the part that I don't quite understand. Because you can see the nuance with certain guys, right? Like you watch Steph Castle, people can see the nuance in his game. They can see that he's not, like, the value that you get out of him isn't just 3-point shooting, right? Like you can see other aspects of his game. People can recognize his defense. They can recognize his pretty good alley-oop passes, not gonna lie. They can recognize, his driving ability. They can recognize, his basketball IQ. They can recognize these things. But then when it comes to other players, if they're not as pretty, if their offensive game isn't as pretty, then you don't understand. You don't understand how they get minutes, or they should get minutes. But yeah, also Carter Bryant's defense was really good too. He didn't play that much, but he was pretty good. What was Fox stats, guys? Fox seen 5 turnovers. He had 5 turnovers, bro. He had like 6 fouls, right? He got fouled out. Yeah, Sochan did great today. If people think otherwise, then they're either not paying attention, or they just, I don't know. They just looked at the stats and came away with their opinion. Fox seemed to play pretty horrible today until like the end, but I don't know. What did Fox look like? Fox had 9 points, shot 4 for 18. See, I can excuse Sochan not shooting that well, right? I can excuse it because I know that that's not what his game is predicated off of. Does he need to get better at it? For sure, yes. That would be nice. But I know that that's not his primary game. He brings a lot of other different things. But Fox, he can't shoot like that. Like, there's not other aspects of his game that's good enough to compensate for shooting that poorly, right? Like, he's not a top-tier playmaker. He's not a great... He's a good defender. He's not a great defender, right? Like, yeah, no. you can't do that. You gotta play better. So certain guys, yes, the criteria is gonna be a little different. I will say that. This is a win if Vassell is playing. See, that's the thing, bro. Like, this is a win. That's the problem. This is a win without, I'm gonna say it right now, this is a win without Vassell, and this is a win without Wemby. You don't need either of those two players to win this game. The Spurs missed a lot of wide open shots. Castle was just forcing everything. So overall, you don't need that, right? Like, the real problem is there was a lack of urgency at one point. There was a lack of nastiness and toughness. There was a lack of physicality. They weren't bringing the fight back, really. I mean, Wemby was, but the team as a whole, they just weren't. You had Fox not shooting well. You had Castle playing poorly. I don't even know if Harris Mars had a point, right? I remember him scoring. He had a really nice layup in there. But just overall, it was like, it wasn't enough. They weren't bringing enough. Not enough scoring. And not enough toughness. They were pretty passive, I think, in the first half at least. So, yeah. That Sochan illegal screen was at the worst time ever. That Sochan illegal screen was not oh, let me turn my light on for this. That Sochan screen was not a foul. That was a poor foul. That was not a foul. The refs were on something. That was not a foul. Okay? I had a pretty decent angle at it. That was not a foul. That's pretty bad. That was pretty doggone bad. And like I said, I was surprised that Mitch Johnson didn't get a tech. How angry he was after that. We are soft. The coaching sucks right now. Okay, I can't read the rest of it because obviously, but as far as are the Spurs soft, I don't think that we're soft. I just think you need a little bit of nasty. That's it. You got a player that can do it. I'm telling you. I was watching this game. I was looking at mannerisms. I was looking at how they approached it. He was getting under Jaren Jackson Jr.'s skin. He was urging the Memphis. It's a certain level of nasty, and there's a certain level of competitiveness too. Wemby got it, but you can't let Wemby do everything, right? You need somebody. Even when Wemby got in the face of Draymond Green, when he dunked on him, he got in the face. Who was the first person to come up? Who was the first person to come up? That's what you want. That's what you need. Ethical basketball is great and dandy, but we're not the 2014 San Antonio Spurs, okay? And even the 2014 San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan was nasty, but like, we're not the 2014 Spurs. We don't have that. I mean, we got a lot of depth, but we don't have that type of depth, you know? We don't have that type of pure basketball IQ, beautiful game. We don't have that right now. And that's okay. You don't have to have that to win a championship. You don't even need to have that to be a dynasty necessarily. You need to be a well-oiled machine, but you don't have to play to that standard. You don't have to. But you're going to need some nasty. Robert Horry, Dennis Rodman, Ron Artest. That's what you want. You need that. I think you're being biased, Clan. No! I'm telling you. This game was ridiculous. It was like the chatter said, were they soft? Yes! They play soft, yes. When it's at the point you just letting other teams like pick up your own player, even when they were shooting free throws. This is the type of nasty. Okay, let me ask you guys something, okay? Let me ask you something, all right? Why do you think the Spurs beat the OKC Thunder? There's many reasons, right? The amount of depth, we match up well with them. But there was a mental game going on. Wemby takes out their soul. Chad Holmgren missing free throws and you act like you just won the championship. That's nasty. You need that. That's what takes their heart out. And in this game, there were so many occasions where I noticed that an agitator helped. The momentum swung. There was a certain level of grit that the Spurs started to play with. He was, like I said, it was the play in which it was out on Sochan, obviously out on Sochan. He knew it was out on him, and he started baiting the Memphis Grizzlies. He started baiting them. He baited them. He was over at their bench. I mean, he didn't walk all the way over to their bench, but he was near their bench, and he started signaling this. He said, replay it, right? And then when I saw him go back over to his team, he was like, yeah, it was out on me. Like, that's the nastiness. They hit a free throw, and he went up just like not Devin Booker, I'm sorry, Dylan Brooks, right? We don't like Dylan Brooks, but hey, he's good for the team. He's good. I would like him to be on my side, right? Like a Pat Bev. I want him on my side. But when they shot free throws, he went up and he's trying to high five the opponent's, the opponent who just shot. Who was it that shot that one? Was that Dami? But yeah, he instantly came up to him. They're pushing him away like, oh my God. Like, that's what you want. You want to be nasty. And his defense was phenomenal tonight. But the way that you can bring that nastiness with Sochan on the defensive end, offensive end, whatever you want to say, but you want to bring that nastiness on him, you keep the pretty players pretty. Wembanyama don't have to do everything. You want to agitate. You want to take their heart out. Take out their soul. Be irritated. How irritating is it that you have this really great 6'8" defender on you who's playing pretty well defensively on you, and then you have Wembanyama lurking around who's blocking your stuff. So you got one person talking trash, pinching your nipples, pushing you around a little bit, giving you high fives at the free throw line, telling you to replay it because I know it's not out on me. That little stuff, that competitiveness, that's that nastiness. And then you got to deal with Wemby. That's what you want. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to my fellow Spurs fans where you think you don't want a player like that. You need a player like that. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say that's the bad guy. What does that make you? Good? Say goodnight to the bad guy. Sorry, Scarface is my favorite movie of all time. But you need it. That's my take. You need it. You can think you don't need it, but you need it. Just joined, thought you'd do it live. Thanks for the super chat. Exactly, we need a dog. You need a dog! Woof! That's what you need. That's what you need, bro. We still here, baby. 71-11 season incoming. Beat LA. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Do not buy into the nonsense. We don't need him in the final clutch minutes. You would have been fine with Whip. You would have been fine with Sochan, okay? You would have been fine with Sochan. Sochan is, even last season. Was it last season? No, last season was weird. Another season prior with Pop. Sochan finishing off games, it was rarely his fault why the Spurs would lose. He would make the right plays. But in this game, most importantly, it wasn't a matter of you don't want him in the game at the end. I think the worst offense of the game at the end of this one was you didn't have Wemby in. That's the worst offense. It wasn't that Sochan was in. Sochan was playing well, especially defensively. Like, he was doing really well. I really hate he missed that corner three, but hey, you haven't been playing him at all. His confidence is pretty shot, so I'm hoping that he start getting minutes and we can actually be able to assess that. But the worst offense was not playing Wemby. That's the worst offense. And having 2 timeouts and not setting anything up. Fox sucks. Fox doesn't suck. But I will admit that I don't think Fox turned it on until the 4th quarter, which that's that softness that somebody mentioned, right? It's not play around. Stop being soft. Put your dog out there. Keep that nasty. Keep that intensity up. Him and Keldon. Let me tell you guys something, okay? Him and Keldon, Sochan and Keldon, are exceptionally important. And I never thought I would say that about Keldon, to be honest. But both of those guys are extraordinarily important. Sochan is important because he's an agitator. He brings that nastiness. He gets to you mentally, and he's a phenomenal defender. Keldon, he keeps the energy up. He's a great rebounder. He's a great finisher. And he just keeps that energy up. So while Sochan is a little bit more sneaky, right? He's more of a Loki. Keldon is more of a Thor, I guess. I don't know. Is that a good... I don't know. I don't know enough about Thor. I know a lot about Loki, though. That's what you want. They're 2 sides of the same coin, all right? Dumb coaching staff. Yeah, it was pretty stupid, yeah. Keldon needs to teach Sochan how to score. Let him do it! Teach him! But what we need is that dog in that game. That's what we need. both of them can teach each other. Keldon, teach Sochan how to finish. Well, Sochan was a good finisher like last season, but teach Sochan how to shoot, because Keldon's been shooting well. Teach him how to shoot, Keldon. And Sochan, teach Keldon how to pinch a nipple, how to be a little mean. Whisper to a player that they're actually trash. But like seriously though, without like all honesty, guys, all honesty, Jeremy Sochan brought a lot of physicality. I mean, I am not shocked, especially how close I was to this game. I am not shocked that Sochan has gotten in as many fights as he has throughout his short career. I am not shocked. I mean, I was surprised that the way that he was playing, he wasn't dirty, but it was just so physical. I was surprised that Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't swing on him. Like, it was physical. It was like two Titans clashing, man. It was nice to see. You want guys like that, seriously. Doesn't impress me. Anyone can do it. Then why isn't anybody doing it? Why don't you have players like that everywhere? Why is each team maybe got one of them? No, not everybody can do that. Not everybody can bring defense, have that high amount of basketball IQ, while also being an agitator and bringing swag to a team. There's a certain type of aura that players can bring, bro. This game was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, there's no reason. Even I went with my dad, right? My dad do not like that's not true. He doesn't watch basketball, like, not at all. He doesn't watch the Spurs at all. He doesn't know about like players. And after Sochan came in, I didn't say anything, and he's like, that number 10. It was like, why don't they play him more? His defense is really great. I was like, I know. It's ridiculous. I will admit though, the last time we saw Sochan when he played at 6 minutes, he really let me down. That was horrible. That was actually horrible. But yeah, pretty good. But yeah, you know, to tell me, well, anyone can do that, then why isn't anybody doing it? If anybody can do it, why ain't anybody doing it? Why don't we have like 50 Draymond Greens running around? Why don't we have 50 Dylan Brooks running around? Certain players just have that type of attitude. You can't pretend. Nobody can't just do that. Kelly Olynyk trying that right now, it's out of character. It won't work. He can't do it. He don't have that type of mentality. He don't have that type of dog. That's like me, especially how Keldon's been. That's like me saying, well, anybody can bring some energy. Anyone can go out there and yell. And no, they can't. Actually, no, they can't. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody's built like that. Olynyk is much better on offense. Please do not troll me. Please. I am not in the mood to be trolled. Olynyk is better offensively. In what world is Olynyk better currently offensively? In what world? Especially you base it off of, well, you can't just base it off of one game, but you base it off of this game. Coming into the chat saying that after this game is crazy. That's wild. Take your meds. Okay, I'm not going to disrespect Kelly Olynyk completely. Kelly Olynyk is a very good passer. He is a very good passer. He's a high IQ passer. But as far as scoring wise, yeah, I don't know what you're smoking. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, buddy. I don't know what you mean. Anyways. Okay, you're just trolling. I ain't responding to Chandler no more. That's all I got. No more responding to Chandler tonight. Olynyk saved a puppy. Yeah. But seriously, like, real talk though. I know I'm like joking around a lot. Real talk. There was a certain amount of attitude that was not being brought until Sochan got on the court. The communication defensively was phenomenal when he got on the court. The defense overall looked better. Still gave up some points, sure, but it did look better. It looked more physical. It was just some very high basketball IQ being played out there defensively, and there was a lot of good passes from him as well. I'm pretty sure. It was kind of hard to tell because this guy in front of me hopped up right when this happened because they were also Spurs fans, so I can't blame them. But I was like, God dang it, I missed part of it. But it was the play in which they played really great defense. Julian Champagny went straight up. Jeremy Sochan contested, no foul, perfect. Crowd was very upset by that, by the way. We got the rebound, and I'm pretty sure Sochan brought the ball down or up the court, gave it to Wemby for that three. And if I'm not mistaken, was that the last time Wemby was in the game? Or was that the play? No, I think he was in the game after that, right? I know Wemby got sat right after he hit a huge three, and then they were like, all right, that's it, Wemby. Ridiculous. David Jones-Garcia needs some minutes? Maybe. McLaughlin looked pretty good until he had that turnover. Do you expect Sochan to play a little more minutes for tomorrow's game? I don't know. The coaching staff is very the coaching staff is very unpredictable sometimes with his minutes, at least. But I'll say this, at least from me just watching Mitch Johnson, he was very much so sticking up for Sochan. And when Castle fouled out, he immediately put in Jeremy. So I think he had a lot of faith in Jeremy tonight. I'll say that. It was very apparent. When they were subbing in Wemby and Castle, he put all three of them in. So he was calling his name quite a bit. He didn't really get onto him. He got onto, okay, Chandler, I said I wouldn't respond to you, but I did see your message about Dylan Harper, because he did get onto Dylan Harper. Yeah, Dylan looked pretty bad. The Spurs it's just irritating, bro. You know, I know it's real cute to call them the Slash Brothers or whatever, but if I'm being transparent and honest with you guys, I don't think being the Slash Brothers is going to win you a championship. I feel like those Splash Brothers is a little bit more effective and heart-wrenching. But you can be slashers, you can attack the rim, and all that's super important, don't get me wrong. But what good is it on Castle's end if you don't have the court vision to catch those second or third reads, right? Dylan Harper has it. He's just super young. But Castle is not that type of player. So what good is that? You can't just play through Castle all the time. Because if you can't leverage your ability to get to the rim in any meaningful ways to get other guys involved, then what good is it? You know? So if Castle isn't driving and hitting those shots, and he doesn't have a Cornet to dump it off to, then it's meaningless, right? And Dylan Harper, I think Dylan Harper is overall just better than how he played, but being the Slash Brothers, that's not going to just win you a championship by itself. You do need outside shooting, especially from your guards. You definitely need that. But it's okay. It's okay. And by the way, that's not me saying I don't think the Spurs can win a championship this year. I'm still very on board. I'm very on board that we're a contender. I still believe that. People say, "Oh, you're too young" or whatever, but there's a lot of young teams. Thunder were a young team when they won. Why not us? So I'm still on board. I think we're fine, but yeah, it's just one of those things, man, where you gotta you gotta leverage your ability to get to the rim in some meaningful way. And right now, I don't really know if we've been getting a lot of that from Castle as of late. And yeah, a lot of offense was just like drive, kick, drive, kick, drive. Yeah, it wasn't anything meaningful. I will say this: when Wemby was like putting on a show, it was very funny because the Spurs kept going to the exact same play over and over. Trying to get Wemby the ball right at the free throw line. Go to work. Go to work. Or the restricted area. Go to work. Go to work. They did it like 5 times in a row. They had Sochan at the corner. And they had him cut over and get on the left side of the rim and then dump it up to Wemby in the middle. And they really couldn't do anything with him. It worked. Oh, you noticed it too? Yeah, they did it like 5. Spurs literally did it like 5 times in a row. After the second time, I was screaming, yeah, do that like every. Wemby doesn't get doubled for once. It has 30 and 20 minutes. He had 30 points tonight. And he was okay, so that's not 100% true. Wemby was getting doubled at the beginning of the game. It's just that his vision has gotten so much better and his passing ability has gotten better until they couldn't do it anymore. But they tried early in the game. They doubled him on the first few plays and it just didn't work. And they were like, yeah, never mind. It turned into, we got to let everyone else beat us, which it worked because everyone else didn't beat them. Fox and Wemby, the combo that was supposed to be special, such a disappointment. To be fair though, Fox and Wemby, they haven't really played together a lot. So as far as them starting together, I think they've only started together, 8 games? I think it's been 8. So they've only started together 8 games. As far as playing together, it might be 20 something. I think they haven't played a lot together. I have no doubt in my mind that Fox and Wemby can work. I mean, obviously, if Fox and Sabonis can work, I don't see why you won't be able to figure something out with Wembanyama. But, yeah. Bro, that's not an excuse. Mitch can have them actually practice pick and rolls. I don't think that they don't practice. It's not even me trying to give an excuse. I mean, it's just kind of the reality. I mean, I guess you can see it as an excuse, but it's just kind of like the reality, you know? I mean, they just haven't really played together. And I don't think De'Aaron Fox is like Chris Paul level of basketball IQ, right? Like where he's going to be able to start clicking with them instantly. Which even those two weren't the best, but right now it seems like the only thing Fox is getting out of being on the court with Wemby is the fact that he's on the court with Wemby, and that's not good. But they just also haven't played together. They haven't started together. They haven't. It's just not that many games. I mean, 8. I think it's literally 8 games. Last time we heard, it was 6 games that they started together. And I think it's been a couple games now, so I think it's only 8 or 9. Rewatching the Memphis feed now to look for you in the stands. Yeah, I'm on the. I don't know if this will really help. I'm on the. I'm behind the rim. I'm on the Spurs side, and I'm behind the goal, but I'm like at G. So They might have caught me a little bit. You can see the jacket I'm wearing. Might have caught me a little bit. But I'm going to tell you this. I can't go back to normal seats no more, bro. I'm going to the game in March. And I swear to God, I'm going to be in either A, B, or C. Because their seats look nicer. I'm going to be in one of those seats. So you're definitely going to be able to catch me. You're definitely going to be able to catch me. I'm going to be at A, B, or C. So it's not courtside, but it's right behind that. And it's going to be on the same side, near the San Antonio Spurs. I got to look up what those tickets are, but like, it got to be one of those, bro. Those seats were too good. It's going to be a tough 4-game day. Yeah. Got you, no cap or beanie. When I go to the next one, I'm going to have my Spurs jersey on for sure. I have my Spurs jersey on for sure. And I'll be there. I'll be there with somebody. You saw that wink? You saw that wink, y'all? Okay. Call me Casanova. Mikasa. Yeah, I'll be there with Mikasa. Hello, I see you. You sitting with Carolina T? He was sitting with Carolina T. Your Sochan jersey? I got a Wemby jersey. I might get a Sochan one though. I got a Wemby jersey. I might do that. No, I ain't gonna do that. Jerseys are too expensive. If somebody wanted to send me a jersey, that would be cool. But I'm not doing that. Hey, Clem, I thought, is there a possibility that there are games that they don't want to win? Spurs? Nah, bro. Nobody's thinking like that. The San Antonio Spurs aren't thinking about let's lose so we can do this, that, and the third. They're not doing that. The only time that the Spurs, I can think of, like, in our history where they didn't care, which they still cared, but they didn't care, was when it was kind of set in stone. Like, we were so far ahead of everyone else in the West till our seeding didn't matter, and they wanted to rest the big three. And like in the last 10 games, you don't know what you're going to get. They might play a little bit, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. That's the only times that the Spurs have ever not cared. They're not worried about who the Spurs are going to play should be our problem. Okay, that's my problem. I'm worried about who we play first round. I don't think the Spurs care at all. Like, their whole goal this year, they've already exceeded expectations. Their whole goal this year is just to make the playoffs. And there was people saying, when I had us being, well, there's still a lot of basketball left, but I had us being at like 4th or 5th. I was like, okay, the Spurs going to end like 5th seed, 4th or 5th seed. And there was people saying that that's too high. Like, there was many Spurs fans saying, hey, I think we'll be 7th, 8th, and that's good enough. They have far exceeded expectations. I think even their own expectations. So, yeah. Plan how far of a drive do you have? It's pretty long. I'm not going to lie to you. It's pretty long. Wait, really? Their goal was actually, Wemby said it was top 6? Really? I don't remember Wemby saying that. Okay. Everything I went over, they were like, we're trying to make the playoffs. Like, we want to be a playoff team this year. But even top 6, I mean, they're exceeding that, right? I mean, they're top 6 technically, but they're nowhere near 6th. Funny enough, I also brought this up, and I didn't quite understand. I think I talked to Swishel about it, and I don't think he agreed with me. But I think I'm right, especially with looking how things pan out in the West right now. One thing that really confused me was when people were saying, like, the Spurs that the West is better this year. I didn't quite understand that. I don't see how the West was better this year. I thought that the West got worse, which I think I'm right? The West has gotten worse. It's still good, but I thought the East would have gotten much better, which I think it did. But the West got worse. Sixth seed at worst should be the goal. I think that's fair. All top six is automatically in the playoffs, so that makes sense. That does make the most sense. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, because if you're 7 or 8, then you gotta. It used to not be like that. You're 7 or 8 now. That's not even a guarantee that you make the playoffs. Oh, that's tough. Plan you think Bobby Portis helps us out there? There's chatter about a possible trade. There's chatter about that? I'll be transparent. I haven't watched Bobby Portis play in a while, but I will say that his attitude is really good. If you were swapping out Bobby Portis for Olynyk, that's like crazy. That's like a crazy upgrade, I think. He's old. Yeah. But his attitude, I'm just thinking more attitude. I don't think that's like a player that takes you over the top or nothing like that, but I do think that Bobby Portis is a pretty nasty guy. He has a really tough attitude, I think. Bobby Portis for Kelly O in a heartbeat. I was really disappointed in Kelly Olynyk. Seeing it in person, man. It was just certain things where I'm like, what are you doing? Like, help your teammate up. Like, show a little bit more physicality, man. Like, the team just looks soft, bro. And after all these years of like putting Sochan in so many different situations, be like, okay, we need you to do this. Will you do it? Sure, coach. Hey, we need you to do this. Will you do it? Sure, coach. Hey, we need you to do this. Will you do it? Sure, coach. And then for us just not to play him is crazy. We need a trade by the deadline. This roster is not winning at all. Well, hold on. Need more fighters? Yeah, for sure. Now, hold on. I don't think the Spurs need a trade at deadline. Okay? Let me put that out there right there. I don't think you need one. And not only that, I also believe that this roster can win it all. Now, will they? I don't know. We're starting to enter that category or that stretch of the season where teams figured you out. We had some huge wins in there. So we're on a lot of teams' radar. I think a big reason why the Thunder are losing, like they're losing, is because not only has teams, saw what the Spurs were doing, but I think also you took their heart out a little bit. The Spurs are now on everyone's radar. You're second in the West. They want to see, are you as good as you say you are? Wemby's being called the GOAT. They want to come at you, right? They want to take your throne. I mean, we don't have a throne yet, but you get what I'm saying. And when that's the case, that's when attitude shows up. That's when character shows up. That's when that nastiness shows up. That's when you need your agitators, man. As bad as the Warriors have looked, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they still make the playoffs. And a big part of that is attitude. I would say 80% of it, 85% of it is Steph Curry, but but the other 15 is attitude. Draymond brings a certain level of attitude. Now, Draymond goes too far with it. Okay, he goes way too far. But that type of stuff is important. Do you think that the Golden State Warriors are a better team than the Spurs? If your answer is no, well, they beat us twice. And a big part of that was attitude. Big part of that was swagger. Big part of that was nastiness. I just feel like the mental game isn't, and I kind of understand why, but I feel like a lot of times the mental game of basketball isn't focused on enough. And I think the reason why is because it's much easier to see very objective things like statistics, right? Like how many points did you have? How many blocks did you have? How many steals did you have? How many points did you score? You know, like that's very easy to look at. But like mentality, a certain level of grit, it's kind of hard to measure. I mean, one of the worst scorers ever is Tony Allen, right? But you cannot convince me that he was not important to the grit and grind Grizzlies. What the Grizzlies are today, which Grizzlies aren't like the best team in the world and nothing like that, right? But a big part of the attitude, a big part of the culture in Memphis, you guys, if you're not from Memphis, so like a big part of Memphis culture is grit and grind. And it came from Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, Marc Gasol, like these really nasty players. But you can't tell me that wasn't important. I don't believe that the 2011 Memphis Grizzlies were better than the San Antonio Spurs. I don't believe that. But the difference was they believed it. They definitely believed it. They believed they were better. That team believed they could win it all. If they had some more talent, if that team had more talent, they could have. One extra star on that grit and grind Grizzlies team, they would have. So a big part of the game is mentality. And the Spurs, I'm sorry, I don't want to be this cutesy, all ethical basketball team. Yeah, we play ethic. We play good ethic. I know. By the way, I know when me saying that, you probably meant it in like different ways, but I'm just being a little condescending. But I want us to be a little nasty. I want and Popovich saw the value in that. As great of a coach as Popovich was, as far as the X's and O's, making sure the right type of guys are on the team, as great as he was, and as much of a rule follower he wanted people to be, he saw the value in guys like that. He saw it. Popovich didn't get upset when Robert Horry slung little Steve Nash against the scorer's table. He wasn't upset. You think he cared? He didn't care. He said, I like it. I like that little bit of nasty. So you need guys like that. Yeah, nasty Sochan and KJ. Yeah. You know, Kellen Johnson brings a different dose of nasty. It's a little different. I need a little dose of nasty. He's a little different dose of nasty than Sochan, but nasty nonetheless. You need guys like that. Spurs are 1-4 at home since Wemby's stupid drum skit. Dude, the drum thing is cool. It's okay. The drum thing is important. Bring culture, bro. Bring culture. Culture, just like in society, bro. Culture is ever changing. Culture is not meant to stay the same way forever. And San Antonio Spurs, there's certain ethics that you're gonna live by, right? There's certain principles that you're gonna live by. You gotta be there for your teammates. You gotta have the right type of attitude. Don't be a distraction off the court. And if you are, you get cut, Joshua Primo. Like those types of things should be the principle. That should be the bedrock. That should be the baseline. That should be what you build everything off of. But as far as being the 2014 Spurs, okay, I don't think that's gonna happen. Tim Duncan was, right? He's our leader. He was a little bit nasty. I mean, he told the whole world that we were gonna win that championship. So he's a little nasty. But overall, that team didn't have that guy, that like nasty guy, right? It was more on just the way they play. They play really great basketball. I can't even say Kawhi was that guy, not really. But culture is ever changing, man. We got a completely different team. We are a second seed in the West. Last time the Spurs were second seed in the West, they didn't look like this. They play completely different. And that's okay. But when you don't play as well as, you know, the 2014 Spurs with all those foreign players who know how to play the game of basketball with extraordinarily high basketball IQ and everyone's on the same page. Like when you don't have that in a perfect big three, when you don't have that, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That just means you need something else that brings you over the hump a little bit. And that something else is that nastiness, in my opinion. That something else is punch you in the mouth a little bit. We need some new corny culture. Nah. They got fat off the OKC games. A little bit. I think the game after that smacked them in the face, and the game after that smacked them in the face. But I think it's been more so teams, you know, coming at the Spurs, them adjusting. Unfortunately, and I said this once, I'll say it again, I don't think there's any harm in this. I don't think that this is a slight on a player, but I really do believe Castle should no longer start. I don't think he should start. Teams have adjusted to the point where he's looking like a one-trick pony, and he won't look like that if he's coming off the bench. That doesn't mean I don't want him to finish games. That doesn't mean he shouldn't get his 30 minutes. I just think he should come off the bench and attack those second units a little bit. The way that he likes to play is suitable and totally fine against second units. But we need a little bit more creativity with the ball, starting-wise. And also, the ball is in his hands so often. That's another reason why I think Fox and Wemby don't really get any type of chemistry. We don't play through Fox, really. We don't really play through Fox as much as we should. And this game was straight up just, hey, Fox, save us. ISO. Just play through him a little bit. What's happening, Clan? What's up, man? You preaching all night, Clan. Yeah. So we're an hour in. I don't want to be on that much longer. I agree, stop putting Fox as shooting guard. Yeah, like stop playing him at, yeah. Exactly. I think technically they got him listed at point guard, but yeah, he's playing shooting guard. He's playing an off-ball role. Like, why are we doing that? Like, this needs to become Fox's team. Like, we're not there. First off, I don't think Castle will be a superstar. I think Dylan Harper has potential to be like a legitimate star. I don't think Castle is that type of player. I think he'll be really good, and maybe similar to what you see from like Derek White, you know. And Derek White is really great right now. But for what you're seeing from Derek White, maybe something like that. But I don't think that he'll be like a star in the NBA, right? Nor do we need him to be. If he is, that's cool. Like, I'm happy with it. But I don't think that he shines the same way that Dylan Harper shines as far as being a potential star. Like, I think Dylan Harper, it feels inevitable that dude's going to be a star. But yeah, I don't feel that same way. But he should come off the bench, attack those second units. The type of shots that he's taking right now is totally fine against second units. But when you just play through him, and it's like, well, he's getting to the line, it's just not enough. That play style is just not enough. It's not going to win you anything, you know? And I was saying that. Yeah, it smells like burnt tire outside. But I was saying that before. I mean, I was saying that when we were winning games, and people were upset about that. I'm like, the way Castle plays is just not going to win you a lot of games. It reminds me. I mean, he's a better player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a better player, but it kind of reminds me of the days when I used to talk about DeJounte. Like, I would talk about how DeJounte, and by the way, I think Steph Castle is way better. I like Steph Castle way more. Okay, but DeJounte's playing style, even though they play differently, his playing style and running him as a primary point guard, where he doesn't have the court vision or the basketball IQ to find those second, third, fourth reads, right? Like, he doesn't have that. And it was like just playing through DeJounte, it felt like trade bait, which luckily it was. But it was like, this isn't going to win you a lot of games, man. And people were like, no, he's hitting big shots. No, he's doing this. I was like, there's so many times where he's playing selfish. There's so many times when other guys are, playing well, but he's not going to him. And he's supposed to be our point guard. He just goes at his own, speed, regardless of what's going on the court. That was the type of stuff where I was like, yeah, I don't think you're going to win anything. And that was also why, for years, I kept saying that I liked Derek White more. I thought Derek White was better. Now, no one would argue that Derek White is better than DeJounte Murray. Like, I don't think anybody will argue that. But at that time, there were so many people against that. And similar to now, which, once again, I didn't want DeJounte Murray really on this team. I want Steph Castle on the team. So it's not the same. But similarly, you have a lot of fans who watch Steph Castle and they enjoy, they enjoy the dunks, they enjoy, the and ones, they enjoy that stuff, the slashing and whatnot. But if you just continue to just run through him, and he's the primary one getting the touches, and he's not really great in involving a bunch of other teammates. Like, he just doesn't have that type of court vision, which is fine. He just doesn't have that type of court vision. And when you do that, you're going to run into stuff like this, where he gets in a slump. And now it's like, no one has any chemistry. Why can't Fox play with Wemby? Why can't this player? Why isn't this player playing well? Why is this player well? It's like, well, most of our offense has been save us, Castle. And save us, Castle is not going to work. Especially when we get in bigger games. But it's just not going to work. That's all. So when we start complaining, when we start getting upset and complaining and saying, why isn't this working? And why isn't, why is our offense so stagnant? And why can't we pass the ball? Well, it's because we leaned on that for way too long. It's a crutch, because he is talented enough, but you're not going to just keep beating teams with just pure talent. I know it's the NBA, it's not the NFL, where talent matters a lot, star power matters a lot, but you're not going to just beat teams off of talent. When they start figuring you out, it's not going to be enough. And as much as I love Wembanyama, guys, he is not 0-3 Duncan, okay? He is not going to be able, I hope I'm wrong when I say this, he is not going to be able to just put this team on his back and compensate for every flaw that we have offensively. He's not Duncan 0-3, okay? Which, how old was Duncan in 0-3? Because Duncan finished college, right? And then he came to the NBA in, 97? How old was Duncan? Was Duncan in his prime yet? Was he 25, maybe? How old was 0-3 Duncan? Bro, it looked like a horror movie outside, y'all. It's so much fog. I think 25. Oh, okay. So he was like going into his prime. But yeah, 0-3 Duncan, you ain't getting that, all right? You ain't going to get that. So if you don't have a player who can just put it on their back yet, because Wemby is a few years away from that, you got to play better basketball. And we certainly don't want to put it on Castle's back, okay? I love me some Steph Castle, but he ain't that. He ain't what a lot of people think he is. Now, if you think Dylan Harper's the real deal, I agree with you. I think he truly is like star power, potential star power. He's just a rookie. That's his excuse. Which Castle's super young too. It's only his second year. Like, Castle's gonna get way better. Like, he'll get a jump shot, a more consistent jump shot. He'll just get better and better. But the more I watch Castle, the more I'm kind of envisioning his best isn't necessarily like superstar. But I hope I'm wrong. I'll be completely happy with being wrong about that. There was something else I was about to mention about Castle. I know what I was going to mention. I saw a lot of people, like somebody tried to call me out on Twitter about this like a week or two ago, in which they said, you didn't want Steph Castle, which, in the draft, which is a complete lie. And then they brought up another tweet in which I was stuck between Castle and, who was it? Who was it? It was a freakishly athletic player. What's his name? I'm like blanking. It's kind of late. Guys, who was the other player in Castle's draft that I was pretty high on? Do you remember? What was his name? Buzelis? No. Buzelis, yeah. I wanted Buzelis. It was another player. Stop gassing Sochan, bro. Never. No, it wasn't Buzelis. It's a black player. He's stupid athletic. I wouldn't say Buzelis is stupid athletic. I don't know why y'all said Buzelis. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't matter. But anyways, in that draft, you know, when you're creating a board and you're thinking through who you want, they brought up a tweet in which I said it was like between Castle and someone else, and I said, well, if we pick, I'm going with the Hollins. Thank you. It was Hollins. Yeah. Hollins. Ron Holland. Yeah. And I was like, if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Ron Holland at that time, right? And they just picked this like long tweet of me doing that. But what matters the most is what's your big board, right? I never put him on my big board ahead of Castle. At that time, I felt that way, but it kind of goes back and forth when you want certain players. There was a certain guys I wanted: Buzelis, Castle, Holland. Those were my guys, right? I didn't want Ricochet. I don't know why a lot of people liked him. I didn't want him. It was many other players I didn't want. And those are my three guys, and I was switching back and forth between them because that draft was just kind of weird, right? So like, but in my board, I had Castle at 1. He was at 1, and I think Buzelis ended up being 2, and maybe Ron Holland was 3. But yeah, so the idea that I didn't want Castle is absurd. I did want Castle. My final verdict was I want Steph Castle, period. So it's whatever. Oh, you're asking for David Jones Garcia? Hey, let him get his reps. Nah, Castle was a good pick for sure. Yeah, I wanted Castle. I can't read that whole thing, but you said, is it panic time? No, it's not time to panic. The Spurs are just in a position that they haven't been in. You know, that's the thing. You know, there's what I'm hoping for is for us to be able to speed through some of the growing pains of what comes from being a good team. I know that sounds like a little weird to say, but I that's what I'm looking for. It's just I hope we can fast forward through this stretch, because this is what comes from being a good team, and this is what comes from being on the map. You know, a lot of people talk about how great our, old San Antonio Spurs were, which they were. But they say that they were great, from the championships. And, that's the main thing we focus on. They won championships. But what really made them great was the fact that despite winning championships, you still, in a tough conference, you continue to put up 50 plus wins a season. That's what makes you special. That's what made them such a great team. Regardless of the entire world knowing how good you are, regardless of every single night a team knows they're going to get a very efficient, smart, strong, and star power team. Every night they know that that's what they're going to get, and they want to put it on their, give you their A game. The Spurs were on national television because we were always like the bar for other teams that people actually cared about, like Celtics and the Lakers, and but teams that people actually cared about, we were always on national television because they know, everyone knew, the networks knew, you're going to be getting a really good, game when you play in the San Antonio Spurs. That's what made that team special. The Spurs, this group, for the first time, they're experiencing success and on a big stage with the biggest star in the NBA. This is what comes with it. Teams are now locked in on you. They know we got Wemby tonight. We got the San Antonio Spurs. Now, last season prior, oh, we got the Spurs tonight. Whatever, But now you got the Spurs tonight. You better play. You better play hard, right? I don't want to be put on a poster by Wemby. So now you're kind of in this stretch now where teams are focused on you. They know what you do. This is why Castle have looked so bad, because they're just closing in on him and they're forcing him to make mistakes. That's it. They know that he doesn't have the court vision, or he has the basketball IQ. He tries to make things happen. He just doesn't have that touch or whatnot. But he doesn't have the court vision to execute, or the passing ability to execute certain passes when he gets in trouble, right? So they know, just clamp in on him, close in on him, give him that little bit of space, make him feel like he's safe, and then close in on him. And odds are he might not make that right pass, right? So that's what they're focusing in on. They see what we do well, they see our weaknesses, and now we're a bar. And when you're a bar, that's tough every night. That's what people don't talk about it enough. That Warriors, how many wins did they have? Is it 73-9? 73-9 team is absolutely incredible, because everyone knew you got to play them hard, and nobody wanted them to hit that record. So we're getting kind of a smaller version of that right now, and it's going to be some growing pains. But that's why that attitude I talked about matters so much. That's why putting Sochan out there, in my opinion, as a agitator and a nasty guy to get you riled up. And KJ is great too, but those players are important right now, because as far as the X and O's, it's not going to take you that much further, right? Like, we have a lot of basketball to be played, but the Spurs kind of set in what they kind of want to do right now. So it's really the attitude going into these games. That's my take. Sochan decision making is not good. Why did we? Well, first off, I think his decision making is fine. Second, he's not the primary ball handler. And third, I don't really know what you're talking about. Defensively, he's phenomenal. His decision making on defense is really great. I mean, he was just smooth, man. Tonight, he was just smooth. I had a front row seat to that. Switches were perfect. Communication was great. Every shot, great contest. Plays hard without fouling, which is kind of crazy that they still called that. Obviously, terrible screen. That was not a foul. Did you see the jump shot he took? Oh, Sochan? He took wide open jump shots. He just missed them. He had 3 wide open jump shots he missed. That's not bad decision making. That was the best possible shot on the court. He needs to become more consistent, but he also needs consistent minutes so he can get that consistency. Like, no player needs to have in the back of their mind, I can be pulled at any second. He's not that type of guy. Like, he needs to be ramped up. He needs more minutes. He needs more touches. He needs to be out there with the best players. And you'll get a better product. He'll get better and better. I've seen, it's not like me just assuming that. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it since his rookie year. But his jump shots weren't bad decisions. How long does it take the 9th pick to develop a jump shot? I don't know, man. Do you want to go down the history of 9th overall picks and see how the jump shots have developed and how long that takes? You do realize that he was not a jump shooter at all, right? Like when the Spurs grabbed him in the draft, and I watched him at Baylor, he can shoot a lick. Like his form was broken. It was ugly. It was awful. But he did so many other things that merited him being a lottery pick. His form is much better now. I think I can turn the light off. Maybe I can turn the light off. His form is much better now, but I mean, I think that's kind of a crazy thing to say. Like, how long does a 9th over? I don't know. It takes a while sometimes. Sometimes guys never develop a jump shot. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. You're asking me how long does it take from a player who their entire basketball career has not had a good 3-point shot and has played different types of roles on the court. How long does it take that player to be a consistent, maybe you're probably looking for a 35% 3-point shooter? I don't know. It takes a while. Okay? It takes a while. Sochan low-key needs the opposite of Luke Cornett's trajectory. Because Luke Cornett started off as a 3-point shooter, and then he got more usage out of being more of a, in the paint, lob threat type player. People don't even know he can shoot. But in college, he had the most 3-point shooting from his size, I believe. At his size, he has the most 3-point shots ever. And yeah, he started off his career in the NBA shooting threes. So I guess he can always probably lean back on that if you ever wanted him to. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna take a while. But that's the thing. The funny thing about it is, like, I can't even, like, with the shooting, because I think, first off, I'm probably giving you, like, way too much credit for focusing in on this so much, especially when he shows so many different important things on the court tonight than just shooting. But as far as 3-point shooting, it's hard for me to even, God, I cannot see anything on this road. It's like so much fog. Anyways, but as far as 3-point shooting, I'm sorry, I said that like 5 million times. I can't even judge how good or how much better of a 3-point shooter he is. The only thing I can judge is his form is better, but because he doesn't play, because at the beginning of the season, he was hitting threes, then missed a few, started getting pulled very quickly, and then his minutes just all over the place. Till like one game he's getting 12, the other game he's getting DNPs, the next game he's getting 20, the next game he's getting 6. It's like you're kind of shooting the confidence down a little bit, and guys go on slumps. Like, look at Keldon Johnson. Like, Keldon went on a long stretch, but he kept playing. His minutes didn't go away. He went on a long stretch this season of not hitting threes, and it would have been a little bit premature to just be like, Keldon's an awful 3-point shooter this season. We didn't know that. But he started hitting them. He got his confidence up, and he looks much better now. So I don't know if that's the same case. When a guy minutes are all over the place like this, it's very hard to judge or evaluate how better he is at shooting. The only thing I can evaluate is, hey, his form looks better. That's it. That's all I got, because he barely plays. You know? I mean, I can go off a shoot around. I don't know if you care about that. I mean, I watched him in shoot around. He hit almost every 3-point shot, but obviously that doesn't matter. Nah, you just want him traded. Shut up. Oh, man. But anyways, it was a pretty disappointing game. Not one that I'm super angry about. By any stretch of the imagination. I'm not super angry, but the way it ended did have me a little hot. But overall, it's okay. It happens. Wasn't the best game in the world. I expect the Spurs to win tomorrow. I expect us to beat the Lakers. By the way, guys, are we in LA or are we in San Antonio tomorrow? Can somebody tell me? LA or San Antonio? I don't know. I haven't looked. San Antonio? Oh, bet. Okay. Yeah, we're at home. All right. Cool. We're good then. I expect us to win. You gotta play with some nastiness though, and some urgency, because that's how you're gonna beat the Lakers. Because those Lakers, man, they have a tendency to like turn their brain off. Can you guys tell me because somebody said we're about to go Lakers, and then who are the next three after that? Tell me the next three after the Lakers. Give me the next three. The next 3 games, guys. I'm angry. We would end up a play-in team if this keeps up. We're not going to end up a play-in team, okay? Other teams are losing, okay? It's not just us. Other teams are slipping up too. OKC slipping up. The Nuggets have Jokic out, which I don't even know. Did they play today? Did the Nuggets play and win today? I don't know. Celtics, Wolves. The Wolves is what I will be keying in on. And when are those games? So I'm assuming the Celtics are. So we play tomorrow's Wednesday. Are the Celtics on Friday? Is the Celtics Wolves the back-to-back as well? Or yeah, when are those 2 games? I actually do want to know that. Saturday? The Celtics is on Saturday? And then the Wolves is what, Monday? Or is it Sunday? After that, Thunder? Really? We got the Thunder that fast? I ain't scared of the Thunder. Time to go 4-0. So a back-to-back. Wolves Sunday, Thunder Tuesday. Okay. Oh, yes, Batman. I'll be very much so looking forward to this, Batman. By the way, I've been watching Peaky Blinders. Shout out to all the people that told me to get on Peaky Blinders, okay? Shout out to all of you. I love all of you. I want to marry you. Thank you so much. I asked a long time ago about Peaky Blinders, and people were like, yeah, bro, you got to watch Peaky Blinders. I finally got to it. Oh my God, is it not the best thing ever? Holy. It's pretty awesome. And I was told that season 5 wasn't the best. That's what I was told. I was told 1 through 4 were like peak, and 5 wasn't the best. I don't know what anybody's talking about, because 5 was by far the best season of the entire thing. It was awesome. So I just started season 6. I am so excited. But man, out of all Tommy Shelby's plans in that series, you do not understand how badly I wanted his plan to work at the end of season 5. I won't spoil anything, but me personally, I hate fascists, and it's like watching any type of media that has fascists just make my blood boil, bro. Like The Boys, it just makes my blood boil. Now Peaky Blinders just makes my blood boil. Fox News, it just makes my blood boil. I hate it. I hate fascists. So like, I wanted it to work so bad. I mean, I can think of other movies. Jojo Rabbit, Inglourious Bastards. Like, I can't deal with them. I can't deal with fascists. I hate them. Worst people ever. Worst people ever. So I thought that was really interesting to go in that direction with Peaky Blinders. Really good. Really great stuff. I mean, it makes sense, the era that it's in, and because they're starting to like transition into like Hitler's reign, right? Because this is the third, I think it's 1930. So yeah, it's starting to pick up. Fascism starting to pick up. I really like how they utilize like historical events with their fictional characters. It's so good. Thomas Shelby is such an interesting character. But anyways, if you guys haven't watched Peaky Blinders, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. I've been watching on Streamio just because I have Netflix. I need to get rid of Netflix though. But I've been watching on Streamio. But it's so great. It's so awesome. I recommend it to everybody. Now, go watch it. So, I'll watch it. Yeah, watch it, man. It's great. Follow me on Letterboxd. I know, like, for series and TV shows, I can't really, like, you can't review those. But, yeah, man, go follow me on Letterboxd. It's Clan the Film Fan. So, Clan the Film Fan on Letterboxd. All one word, Clan the Film Fan. And follow me on there. I'll review, I mean, I don't do, like, in-depth reviews or anything, but you'll see what I just watched. And I think I have pretty great taste in movies. And I have a pretty good variety of different movies I watch as well. Like, I don't just watch Hollywood films or nothing like that. Like, I make sure I watch a lot of foreign films, independent films, and there's some true bangers out there. Like, the most recent foreign film I watched was Kamikaze Girls. Oh my God, did I love it. It was so good. And then I went to the theaters recently. I did see Marty Supreme. I really liked it. I didn't love it as much as Uncut Gems, but it's similar in a way. But I don't think it's as good as Uncut Gems. It's really great though. I did like it. It's a good movie. What else did I watch recently? I finished Stranger Things. Oh my God, was that a train wreck? It's one of those, man, where if anybody justifies the way that Stranger Things ended, you are justifying it because you like happy endings. Because, oh my God, was that horrible. What a terrible ending. What a god-awful, terrible season. Wow, what a way to destroy great characters and great momentum and great everything. Wow, that was horrible. Good God. Man. We're 2-4 since we played the Thunder. That is not good. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not good, but it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. You know, like I said, you go through the stretch. You know, it's get ready. Okay, this is a team that's now there on top, and that's really what shows you how good you are. Is what you do when you're actually on top. So 2-4 isn't horrible. It's close enough to 500. Now you do need to start winning though. But I think we're still in second seed. But yeah, you can't keep slipping them up. But playing the Lakers is a huge one. Playing the Wolves is a huge one. So that'll help us a lot. Those 2 wins matter so much. And then you play the Thunder again. All those matter so much because you're competing with them for positioning. So yeah, just lock in for the next one. Spurs with cleaned up plan. Yeah, they'll be okay. Yeah, we'll be okay. But yeah, guys, you should watch Peaky Blinders. Any other shows I can recommend? Any movies I can recommend? So the three best movies I've watched recently is It Ends, which I'll just tell you the premise. I won't tell you what it's about because it's a pretty deep movie. I thought it was pretty great. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but it's basically about these 4 friends, and I believe 1 or 2 of them are getting ready to move away, so they go out for some food, like a fast food run. But then they go on this road, and then they realize that this road is not ending, and they realize that it's just going on and on and on and on. So you're kind of stuck on this road, and it's a little bit of a horror film, but it's a really deep meaning, and I think it's a phenomenal film. I don't know if you consider it. Hey, I think it would be considered independent. It's a very you can tell it was a low budget, but the amount that they did with just a car, 4 people, and a road was really well done. The chemistry among the cast was really great. The dialogue was really great. The meaning behind it is really great. Directing is really great. Everything's just great. And I'm a sucker for bittersweet films, and it's one of those bittersweet ones, I think. So go check that out. That one's great. And then, like I said, I saw Marty Supreme. Go see that in theaters. It's worth it. I'm not the biggest Timothée Chalamet fan. I'm not a hater. I like him. Like, I think he's so frustrating because as a person, I think he's a cool guy. Like, he seems like a pretty nice dude. And I can recognize that he's a good actor, but I don't know what it is that I can't, like, it's so hard for me to see him the same light that I see, like, Leonardo DiCaprio or, Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, I don't know. When I see him act, I don't see him transform fully into a character. But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just a me problem. But I don't stop. I won't avoid a movie because Timothée Chalamet is in it. Like, I like him, but I just don't. I don't think he's like. I don't know. It's like objectively he's a good actor. It seems like. I know that's not, you can't be objective about it, but I think objectively he has acting chops. He's a good actor, but for some reason I just don't see that transformation when I watch him. Like I see other people, because like certain actors will even give their characters certain tics, right? That might not even be in the script. Like I think of Prisoners, and Jake Gyllenhaal's character in Prisoners, like he has like a little tick. Like they never address it, they never bring it up, they never talk about it, but it's there, and it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Marty Supreme, go see that. Obviously One Battle After Another, you need to watch that. That movie is top tier, 5 out of 5. And then the last movie, Kamikaze Girls, Japanese film, really great. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Kind of like a buddy film, buddy adventure, if you will. But anyways, guys, I have been on long enough. I'm gonna hop off. I'll be home in not too long, but I appreciate all the love. I appreciate you guys coming through when I know that it's been dark most of the stream. Unfortunately, I can't really hop on. I can't hop onto my computer because I was like, when I get home, it's gonna be very late, so I had no point doing that. But I do appreciate people coming through, and yeah, all love. I'll get with you guys later. You have a great night, and yeah, thanks for the super chats too while I was driving. So bye y'all. Goodbye. Bye.